Okay, so today we're talking about a huge shift that's happening in the world of high-end travel. We're going to explore how the whole idea of luxury is changing, moving away from just pure indulgence and towards making a real positive impact. And you know what? We're going to see why Thailand is kind of becoming the perfect example, the blueprint really, for this massive global change.
So, think about it for a second. We all have that dream vacation in our heads, right? The perfect beach, five-star service, the works. But what if that trip could be more? I mean, what if it could actually help the local community or help protect the incredible nature you traveled all that way to see?
You know, the old way of thinking about luxury travel, that no limits, do whatever you want model, it's really facing a reckoning. And a new idea is stepping up to take its place, one that combines that amazing, opulent experience with a real sense of responsibility. And we're about to see how Thailand, with its incredible culture of hospitality, is right at the heart of this whole transformation.
Okay, but before we jump into the future, we kind of have to get real about the past. To really get where we're going, we need to talk about where we've been. Let's pull back the curtain on the hidden costs of all that traditional luxury.
So what is true luxury really? For so long, the answer seemed pretty simple, right? It was all about infinity pools, endless champagne, that exclusive velvet rope access. But is that it? Is that the whole picture? Or has our idea of what luxury means started to change into something deeper than just having more stuff?
Right, so let's break this down. It really is a tale of two luxuries. On one hand, you've got that classic version, opulence, pampering, all the shiny things. But if you look just a little bit closer, underneath that perfect polished surface, there's often a pretty high price to pay. We're talking about huge resource waste, a ton of strain on the environment, and sometimes it even wears away the very local culture that made you want to go there in the first place.
And the stakes here, they are absolutely massive. Just look at this number. $69 trillion. That's the potential global economic hit by 2050 if climate change isn't brought under control. I mean, that's not just an environmental problem. That is a full-blown economic disaster that could literally wipe out the beautiful places we all dream of visiting.
Okay, so that's the scary part. But this is where things start to change. This is the turning point, because facing these massive challenges, a whole new way of thinking is starting to bubble up. And listen, it's not about getting rid of luxury, not at all. It's about making it better, evolving it into something more meaningful.
So what is this new idea? What is sustainable luxury? Well, it's actually pretty simple. At its core, it's the belief that you can have an amazing five-star experience that doesn't come at the expense of the planet or its people. In fact, one of our sources put it perfectly. It all boils down to just three simple things: being fair, respectful, and kind.
And this whole idea really stands on four key pillars. First, you've got environmental care, actually protecting nature. Then there's social responsibility, making sure the local communities are better off. Third is cultural authenticity, honoring and respecting traditions. And finally, it all has to work financially, right? So there's economic viability, creating growth that actually lasts. It's the whole package.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, now we're going to zoom in on Thailand, because it's become this incredible, real-life laboratory for this whole new way of thinking about travel.
So why Thailand? What makes it so special? Well, a huge part of it is the culture. It's built on this really unique kind of hospitality, one that's all about simplicity and sincerity. One source actually calls it an even-tempered friendliness. And that is just the perfect ground for these ideas of sustainable luxury to really take root and flourish.
Now, this didn't just happen overnight, not by a long shot. If you look back to the 90s, that's when Thailand's beaches just exploded onto the scene. And that boom led to a decade of super fast, often uncontrolled, development that honestly was really tough on the environment. But then, around the 2010s, something started to shift. A real conscious change started happening, a move toward conservation that is completely reshaping what tourism in Thailand looks like today.
All right, so what does this hospitality in action actually look like? Let's get into the specifics. Some real-world examples of how hotels and tours are making this happen.
A lot of the time, it literally starts with the building itself. We're talking about eco-design, and true eco-design isn't just, slapping some solar panels on the roof and calling it a day. No, it's a whole philosophy that's built in from the very beginning. It's about using sustainable materials, designing the building to catch natural light and breezes, and planning for renewable energy right from the get-go.
And one of the coolest trends popping up is something called biophilic design. It sounds kind of complicated, but the idea is actually super simple and really powerful. You intentionally bring nature into the building. Think living green walls, lots of natural materials, wide open spaces. And the amazing part is, these places don't just look incredible. Studies have actually shown they can lower your stress and make you feel better. How cool is that?
And it's not just small, boutique places. Huge hotel brands are getting in on this. You've got Banyan Tree doing these incredible projects, like restoring mangrove forests, and they're winning awards for it. Then there's Sofitel Krabi. They're out there organizing beach cleanups with the community. They're even making their signs out of recycled newspapers. And the key thing here is, this isn't just for show. This isn't a PR stunt. It's becoming a core part of how they do business.
And this thinking goes way beyond just the hotels. Take the Elephant Nature Park in Chiang Mai. It's a completely different model for tourism. Instead of offering elephant rides, which can be really harmful, visitors get to help take care of rescued elephants. And just listen to this quote. It really gets to the heart of it. That amazing connection you feel comes from respect, not from using the animals for entertainment.
Okay, let's be real for a minute. This all sounds great, but it's not easy. Making this switch comes with some serious challenges. I mean, the cost of putting in all this green tech is really high up front. Government support can be all over the place, and then you have the big one, greenwashing. That's when hotels just say they're eco-friendly but don't actually do the work. It's a real risk.
So with all that in mind, where is this all headed? Well, the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some small trend for a handful of travelers. All the signs are pointing in one direction. This is the future of travel, for all of us.
And you know who's driving this whole change? It's you. It's us, the travelers. The numbers are just wild. Something like 80% of travelers are now actively looking for sustainable options when they book a trip. And get this, 60% say they're even willing to pay more for it. When that many people demand something, the industry has to listen.
This next quote really sums up the whole mindset shift perfectly. It's this idea that what we consider fancy or aspirational is completely changing. In a world where we're running out of pristine nature, the ultimate luxury isn't about having more. It's about having less, but better. It's about authenticity and making a positive mark.
And that really brings us to the final, crucial point. You have the power here. You're the engine driving this whole movement. Every time you book a trip, you're casting a vote for the kind of world you want to travel in. See, the new luxury isn't about what you can get from a place anymore. It's about what you can give back.
So, that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. The next time you're planning that big trip, that dream vacation, what kind of luxury are you going to choose? Are you going to be part of the old story of just taking, or the new, much more exciting story of giving back? The choice is yours.